So, Umar is a lot younger. We've got a 5-year age gap here, and this is MERAB being 34, getting really close to that age of 35 where there's the crazy statistic of 155 pounds and lower, 170 pounds and lower. No one's ever won a title fight above the age of 35, bar Tyron Woodley. He's getting up there. He's not there yet though, but that's a good thing to know. I didn't realize quite how old MERAB was. I thought he was like 33, but he's 34. Oh, he only just turned 34, to be fair. That makes more sense. There's a 2-inch height advantage for Umar, and there is a 1-inch reach advantage. So they're pretty much really similar sized. MERAB just being a little bit smaller and stockier. Obviously, we all knew that. Now, in terms of paths to victory, I really just, aside from me being a generational MERAB hater, I cannot see any world where MERAB gets a finish here. I think if anyone thinks that MERAB gets a finish over Umar, even if MERAB did get a finish over Umar, the people that predicted it, you don't get to give them props, because that's not a good prediction. That's a Hail Mary, okay? MERAB, you want to hear how many fucking decisions MERAB's got? We all know, but so in his UFC career, he is 11-2, and he has gone, once he got into the UFC, lost a decision, lost a technical guillotine choke, but it was technically a decision. Decision win, decision win, decision win, decision win, decision win, decision win. Ground and pound over Marlon Moraes. Decision win, decision win, decision win, decision win. He's got 1 finish in the UFC, 3 in his career. Okay, 4 in his career. Whereas if we look at Umar has also got a fair bit of decisions in the UFC. I won't deny that, but he's got so many submissions. Comes into the UFC and goes rear naked choke, decision, left hook, knockout, decision. So he's even. He's got 3 finishes and 3 decisions on his record. I am going to say MERAB's probably a really tough guy to take to a decision and beat. I don't know if it's possible these days. Like, we saw him get beat by decision early in his career, and they were 3-rounders as well. But I think that the CEO of EPO is not going to just give up a 5-rounder easily, if at all. It would be really lucky for Umar to get a 3-2 scorecard, a 48-47 scorecard over MERAB. He could do that. I will fucking lose my shit if we see Umar get like a 50-45 or a 49-46, because that will be so impressive just based on what kind of fight MERAB brings. However, my prediction is going to be a finish. And I'm going to say that he chokes MERAB out. Similar to what I said about the MERAB, the Arman finish, I could see a TKO over MERAB from Umar, from just like a pressure-based thing where MERAB just isn't intelligently defending anymore and he's too rocked and shaky. And I also could see MERAB go to sleep, you know. That would be optimal. That would be the optimal way for Umar to win this belt. That would be really, really impressive if he actually puts MERAB to sleep, especially because Sean O'Malley, his last fight, is meant to be the knockout king of this division. So if Umar was to go in there and knock out MERAB, that would set up the O'Malley fight to be massive. However, I think that we're going to see a lot of wrestling in this fight, okay? Umar's definitely going to try and force MERAB to stand and try and work him down on the feet, and kind of, because he's a lot better of a striker than MERAB. It's not even fucking close. But MERAB is going to force Umar to fight his fight, as he does with every single person he fights. He's going to just re-enter takedowns over and over again. Mat return, stand up, mat return, stand up, mat return, like he does every single time. But I don't think it's going to be the same against Umar, where Umar's not just going to be like, okay, he's got a hold of me, I got to get out of this grip and I got to get up, you know, let me try and nullify this takedown attempt and get back to the feet. I think there will be a lot of moments when MERAB chases the takedowns on Umar, and say he gets them, when Umar gets up, because he will get up, because everyone gets up from MERAB's takedowns, he might not try and split and break and get back to striking distance. I feel like we will see Umar try and get the better of MERAB in a scramble, and if he doesn't chase a controlled takedown where he gets on top of MERAB, I can certainly see Umar trying to slide himself straight into a submission, not attempt, but into a position that provides a submission available to it. So perhaps that's jumping straight onto MERAB's back with 2 hooks in, rather than like a takedown and then trying to climb to his back. I can see Umar using the scrambles and the very, very blitzy kind of moments against MERAB, especially because MERAB is pretty sloppy. He's very sloppy in those moments. Like, he's not the most technical. He doesn't have great grips on people. It's more that he just never lets go of you and just holds onto your hips. And he's very, very strong, so he can pick you up off of and get you off of your point of contact on the mat or the cage to force your balance off and get you maybe back onto your hands and knees. Again, mat returns. It's what he's the best at. I hate him, but I'm not going to try and act like he's not incredible at what he does. MERAB is fucking ridiculously good at his style. It's just that his style is fucking abysmal and shit. Okay? But he's really good at it. And I think that Umar will not try and either A, stop him from doing that, or B, return fire. I don't think we're going to see Umar necessarily shoot takedowns on... we're not going to say... I don't know if I said the right name. We're not going to see Umar shoot takedowns on MERAB. We might see them get into scuffles and stuff like that, where Umar then initiates a single leg or tries to trip him or get a dump or a hip toss or something. But I think MERAB is primarily going to be the guy that's going for the big double leg entries, grabbing a hold of a single leg. But Umar's got great flexibility and balance, so I could definitely see him getting really, really good moments over MERAB in those attempts that MERAB goes for takedowns, where other guys don't really do that against MERAB. A lot of guys that MERAB tries to take down, even if they don't get taken down and they do manage to kind of stand up and, like I said, accept just a bunch of mat returns, they usually do, to a degree, have a level of acceptance of, okay, we're wrestling now. That's kind of what a lot of MERAB's opponents are like. Once he's got his hands locked around you, or he's got a hold of your leg, or both your legs, it's like, okay, I'm in wrestling mode now. Where do I go to minimize his next step in this transition into a grappling sequence? Umar probably won't do that. Umar's way more likely, in my eyes, to actually still think that he's capable, and probably rightfully so, of either A, maintaining himself on the feet when MERAB goes for takedowns and defending those takedowns well, or, and that could lead him to end up defending the takedowns well if he believes he can and doesn't like subject himself to giving into that. Or I can certainly see Umar using those takedowns from MERAB as a using that like confidence he's going to have in those takedowns against MERAB to at least, I'm going to make this you being taken down. Because at the very least, he can do that. Like I said about the other guys that kind of accept this as wrestling, not only do they just accept, okay, we're wrestling now, they also accept, okay, he's probably going to get on top of me, or he's probably going to get a little bit of control time over me here, maybe 10-20 seconds before I can get back up. I think Umar's way more likely to be like, I can reverse this. I'm going to try and grab a hold of his ankle while he's on this single leg. Let's see if I can't just fucking Imanari roll my way out of this. Or let's see, you know, that is going to be something I think Umar's got way more capability of using the extensive arsenal of defensive, offensive grappling, if that makes sense. Not just defensive grappling, which I would call takedown defense and stuff like that, but defensively, defensively defending things so that he can turn it into offense, if that makes sense. I'm not wording this the best, and I'm using a word salad of like the same words and just repeating things like saying double negatives, but I think you get what I'm going for. So, like I said, I could see a Umar TKO kind of thing where he just gets MERAB worn out and the referee doesn't see enough intelligent defense while Umar has like ground and pound, for example. But my prediction is going to be Umar by a submission, and probably something like a rear naked choke that he jumps onto, or that MERAB slips into with a bit of an unintelligent transition and attempts to chase this takedown further, or perhaps a triangle, because MERAB just sticks his head between people's hips, bro. He just sticks his head between people's hips. And maybe he won't do that against Umar if he's a bit more intelligent this time and knows the threat that's ahead of him. But if he does, I can certainly see Umar getting a triangle there, or maybe even managing to jump an armbar. I don't know if that would be the case. I really think it would be a choke. It's not going to be a limb. It's not going to be a limb submission like an armbar or a leg lock or something. It's also not what Umar's really known for at all. They're all rear naked. Peruvian necktie, rear naked, rear naked, rear naked, rear naked, rear naked, rear naked. They're all rear naked chokes, essentially, for Umar. So that's going to be my most likely prediction. Round-wise, I could see it being early when they're dry, and maybe that's when Umar has the best chance of locking in a submission. And maybe later on, if they're going to be grappling a shit ton like Merab's going to attempt to make them, it's going to be harder for Umar to lock that in. Not sure, but I'm going to say somewhat early in the fight, second or third round, rear naked choke from Umar. If not a submission, probably a choke of some kind.